Relationships are absorbing the strain. Couples are postponing weddings, engagements, timelines are shifting, financial conversations, once delicate, are now urgent, whether we like it or not. But then we are faced with February, the month of love.
Where love is being renegotiated in real time. For some, hardship is a strengthening partnership. For others, it's exposing fractures that would always be there. To guide us through this evolving dynamic, we are joined by Andre Ogbewele, a family and relationship counselor. Andre, thank you so much for joining us. Now, in the past year, how much has economic stress featured in the cases you handle?
Well, the truth of the matter is it's always been a thing, but it wasn't so prominent as is now. Yes, because of the current economic crisis, it has become a huge strain on relationships, a huge strain on relationships. Yes, I've dealt with a couple of clients that 90% of the issue surrounds finances, and that's based on the economy. Yeah, so yeah, a lot actually.
Andre, I'm wondering whether February is a month different from any other month, noting that the middle of February is Valentine's Day, which is today, by the way. And I'm wondering how much of that actually, how much of a factor it plays in relationships in Nigeria, especially during the month of February. Now, I'm asking this because most men, of which I am one, seem to think that we are we are perceived by our worth. And I'm wondering what room is there for genuine affection from one's partner if the system mandates that we have to express this love in a manner that, you know, means that we're going to have to expend a lot. So what room is there for genuine affection?
Okay, so let's start with this first. What is love? Love is a verb. It's an action word, right? So which means however it is you need to show love, it needs to be in your actions, be it gifting, be it going out on dates or whatever, but it is an action word. Now, in terms of the stress it's causing on people now because of the month of February especially, so I tell people that it's based on your orientation. The month of love, you see, every day for me is a love day. I practice love every day with my family. Because it's an action word, I don't wait till a timeline before I actually show love. So that is why a lot of people are under a lot of strain, especially Valentine's Day, yes, being today, trying to go all out to either please their partner or just make them happy. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You see, this act should be done.
So what do you think is responsible for that? Why do you think people have completely forgotten about the real focus of affection, the real focus of love? Why has it now become a transactional thing? Is it because we are bending to commercial, commercially driven occasions like Valentine, like Christmas? Is it social media? Why are we seeing love as a money spending activity?
Yes, there's the social media effect, obviously, because a lot of people now spend their time on social media. But herein is the glitch in all this. Social media is not real life. You see, people live differently. You try to imitate something that people put up as a way to advertise either a product or something, right? But not their genuine lives that they live on a daily basis. So there's a misconception between what is online and what is real. And that also stems to orientation, upbringing, value system of people. So if that is not in check, you would always run into this frenzy of, you know, a tagged date for an event. Yes, so that's what it is.
So, Andre, outside of is a very interesting one, actually. Outside of what you defined as love, which I think was beautiful because it has been misconstrued right now, could it be that the roles have somewhat kind of shifted? And in terms of effort, there seems to be a bit of a recline in effort on both sides, not just on the male side. And you find a situation where women are somewhat demanding for things that are supposed to generally come naturally in a relationship.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I'll go back to the concept of upbringing and orientation. You see, what you see today on social media is a ripple effect of how people were taught. Sometimes you see movies where parents are telling their daughters that if this guy doesn't have money, don't stay with him, go after this. So the narrative, see, there's a narrative being built, right? Now, the narrative is to destroy the family system, right? Because once you destroy a marriage or a union, the ripple effect is on the kids. Now, a lot of people in Lagos, Nigeria, or Nigeria as a whole, right, deal with PTSD, but they have no idea that they are dealing with PTSD because of situations that has occurred. So subconsciously, their actions are fed by what has happened to them. I don't know if you're following me.
Absolutely. I am following. And that brings me to ask the question that might refocus everyone here. What is the true African expression of love without social media, without the big bucks? What is love supposed to look like in an African setting? In a Nigerian setting?
No, African setting.
Yeah. African. Inam is actually South African, so let's go African.
So, but you see, the thing is this, right? Love is not Nigerian, it's not African, it's universal. It's a universal thing. So also marriage, you see, there's a baseline to certain things that make it work. Love is you showing affection, showing your partner that you are there for them, you have their back, you are their security, basically dwelling on the 5 love languages. Do you get me? There's the gifting, there's the words of affirmation, there's acts of service, what else? Anyway, basically touch. The 5 love languages. So no, but here is the thing. Even if it's her best one, you see, everybody has the 5 love languages, right? Yeah. In them, but some are more pronounced than the others. For some people, they like acts of service. For her, it's physical touch, which is definitely all right. So when it comes to the definition of love, or what love should be, even in the African setting, is you both showing up for each other, complimenting each other, making sure that you can rely on each other, which is trust building. And the biggest of all, communication between you both. You see, so that is what love is. That is what naturally in the African setting. If you ask your parents, did they break their limbs to buy gifts for their wives? They'll tell you no. All they did was appreciate their spouse on that specific day that was selected. But again, the selection of a day for you to only show love is flawed. Love should be shown every single day.
I agree with you, Andre. Let me say something to Inam here in the studio. With all these 5 love languages that have been mentioned, and even if gift giving is one of them, I just believe that the Valentine's celebration has focused too much on gift giving and has removed everything else. So now we see gift giving as the main thing when it comes to love, when it comes to showing love. To the extent that when you do not give gifts, then that means you do not love me.
It's actually quite interesting you say that, because when I was getting ready for my monologue, I actually found out that Valentine's alone, universally, is people spend, or the average spend, total compounded spend is $200 billion.
It's been commercialized.
Yes, $200 billion is spent globally for Valentine's Day. That's gifts, that's restaurants, that's going to the grocery stores and buying things that you want to cook. And I mean, that's a lot of money. And I said again in the monologue as well that I'm struggling to pay my bills, but because I want to keep my spouse happy, I go and I buy something for them. And I think going back to what Andre said, I think love is somewhat now seen as quite superficial, because if someone has a bill to pay, and they prioritize you as opposed to
That's
the bill,
selfish, isn't it?
do people understand that me buying you a gift is sacrifice?
Yeah.
And I think people don't, it's unfortunate. As I am single as a Pringle, I said, you begin to see things like this, that it's no longer sacrificial. It's more transactional, like you said. I've spoken to a few guys around my circle, and they always say things like, it's transactional, it's this, and it's all of that. Now, Andre, I want to ask you something from a single standpoint, because they have dogged me completely in the studios.
Okay.
I want to ask you an interesting question that, has been in conversation around my circle. Can you give us a bit of an enlightenment about this whole thing called the chase? Because, they always let you know that the man needs to chase you, don't be chasing them and all of that. But you find a situation, once they have chased you and it's like they've bagged you, then there's a bit of a recline in the chasing and stuff. Can you educate me and enlighten me about this whole concept of you being the catch and the chase?
After spending so much, by the way. The economics of it all.
Okay, okay, so the chase, right? See, it's a thrill when you're trying to get something that possibly you might not. You know how growing up, you actually do certain things that your parents say you should not do. Now, the thrill of getting caught is what makes you do those things, right? Because there's this sense of danger to it. So when it comes to a guy chasing a lady, it is the same. You see, men were naturally built as hunters. So for them, it's like hunting a prey. And then when they get that prey, they relax, obviously. So that's basically what it is. But there's now a twist to it. You see, now in the society we live in, guys don't like to chase anymore.
And why is that?
I walk up to you. Now, this is the reason behind it, which was what it was naturally meant to be, in the sense that, so I like you, you like me, obviously, and our values align. So what else is there for me to, I don't need to chase you if what we want, we both have the same goals, the same value system. I don't need to chase you. Let's just start off a relationship and go on from there. Now, here's the flaw in that same thing. See, if you start a relationship that way, you would continue to build that relationship in that manner. And why I say this is because if you don't put certain structures in place, it will come back to bite you.
Very, very true. And I like this. Go ahead, Andre.
Go on.
Well, I was going to say that I like this because I like the fact that Inam actually brought this in, because when you talk about the chase and you look at what it has become, or what many will argue women want it to be, it has to do with plenty of expenditure, it has to do with plenty of attention. So that kind of like takes away everything from it, and it's just simply about you spending so much. So I can see why, Inam, I know you're breathing heavy there, but I can see why people are no longer, why men are reluctant to go about a chase. First of all, it's economically disadvantageous to them. Secondly, men have been put in a box where they are perceived by how much they earn, how much they can give. Being a provider may not necessarily mean that you're expending monetarily. You could be providing support, you could be providing well, there are other factors that you could provide. Inam, why are you looking at me? Inam is looking at me strange, and I'm wondering whether I'm saying something wrong. Inam, am I?
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
No, actually, you're not saying anything wrong. You see, it's the narrative. It's the narrative they're trying to portray, that, affection can only be shown through monetary terms, which is what I said, goes back to what I said earlier. There's an agenda that is being placed. So that's just what it is. Affection doesn't only dwell on financial gains alone. There are other things. There are other more important things than that. You get me?
I mean, I do agree with that. But I think the misconception, or I think the lines that are blurred, is the fact that, like Mazino mentioned, that when you talk about the chase, men tend to feel like there's a lot of financial expenditure and injections that go to chasing. And I think sometimes that's where they also are like, well, but is this person worth it? It's not necessarily about the monetary value. It's time, it's attention. Now, if you want to peg your attention to financial injections, then it becomes a problem. But I think that's where, again, like we have said, there have been so many blurred lines because women now also just kind of put it on a man to say, what is your ability to provide? And I don't even think that's the wrong question to ask. But you know, sometimes it's also been one of those situations where if Mazino is chasing Inam, and when Mazino started chasing Inam, Mazino was sending alats, Mazino was sending flowers, Mazino was doing that. There is something.
Mazino was trying, definitely.
He was trying, but he put that in my mind. You know, when it's a pattern, if you make me, if you put me in a space where I am used to certain things that you were giving me, there is that consistency, that's an expectation. And I think sometimes it becomes hard for a man to maintain that consistency of something that he started, you know? So it's blurred lines, but...
So you guys know Inam.
Okay, I'm surprised. Right? Here's the thing, you as a woman, right? So a guy decides to, you know, take you out to dinners, fly you to Paris just for vacations. No, you're not married, right? You as a woman, you should be emotionally intelligent enough,
100%.
right, to caution it. If you really do care or love this person, because the truth of the matter is anything can happen. Nobody thought the economy would be what it is today, but it is what it is, right? So it is also in your power to speak to this man if you truly and genuinely do care about him.
I agree.
You know, these conversations can be had because yes, it creates a false narrative. You get used to a certain lifestyle and then it comes to a point he can't give you that exact lifestyle. So it becomes a problem. So the bloodlines is both ways. It's not just on the guy's part. It also falls on the woman to also be able to speak to this person. That's where communication comes in. If you guys can't communicate genuinely and openly, then there's really no trust in that relationship.
I agree.
Well, I guess I agree as well. Andre, there are other details that we would like to discuss. I don't know if the producers will give us the time to do that. Okay, so I'm being told that we actually have the time. So let's bring it home now.
Okay.
Let's take a look at February 14th, 2026. Do we see a decline in the amount of people? Do you think we're going to see a decline in the amount of people who are openly expressing themselves because of the economy that we find ourselves? And how does that change the way Nigerians see love, if it does?
There would be no decline, actually. Instead, there will be an increase in today's activities.
Really now?
Again, because of the narrative. Yes, because of the narrative that has been set. See, everyone, or to a large extent, let's say, give or take, out of 10, let's say 7 people, or 7 guys or 7 females feel that financial gain is Valentine. So the gifts, and I'm talking enormous gifts, like people literally buy cars as Valentine gifts to their girlfriends, not even their wives. You see, now that's a problem, you know, to their girlfriends. So there's going to be an increase in that today.
Are you considering the economy that we are in currently? Do you think we will see a boom? Because if Dirty December wasn't as big as what it was the year before, I don't see how Valentine's could actually be so. And I don't think much infrastructure was put behind Valentine's this year. I'm not seeing so many posts. I'm not seeing so many people or businesses that are set up for Valentine's that are saying, oh, we have special discounts. None of that this year. And I'm thinking that it's the economy. And that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, I do get that, but have you been to stores in the past 2 days?
He hasn't.
Apart from the red teddy bears, there's not much difference. Teddy bears with hearts and roses.
No, I think you should walk into stores. Then you would see the traffic of people trying to buy gifts for Valentine. I've been into stores since about Wednesday, and I noticed the increase in foot traffic in stores of people trying to buy stuff, because you see the narrative has sunk in that it has to be strictly gifts and enormous gifts, to be quite precise, to show the extent of how much you care and love someone. So yes, there's an increase in it. It hasn't declined.
I wait to see, and I'm going to step into a store today, specifically just to find out exactly whether they do have these foot traffic like you have said. I don't know what I'll be going to go purchase, but I definitely will be trying to see exactly what's happening there.
You could purchase something for your co-host. She's single, is she not?
Don't remind her
I'm calling
because
you guys out.
I was
Call
supposed
him out.
I was supposed to bring her banana bread many weekends now, and I haven't.
But
so that was supposed to be the one thing I was supposed to get for her.
So you see, Andre, this speaks to consistency. Speaks to
yes,
consistency.
but what are you getting him for Valentine's Day?
Thank you. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that we, as men, are always required to be the ones who present these gifts, and we don't get much back in return. Andre, please, why is this so in this setting, African, Nigerian setting?
Nigerian setting, orientation, upbringing. That's what it is. You see, females have been taught to always expect and not to give. So that has become a culture thing in the African system, whereby parents tell their female child to always aim for guys who are already made and successful so that they can have a better life. Now, not instilling into them the value system of love being a give and take scenario. It's a balanced thing. You know, this onus doesn't fall just on the guy, but it's both parties. You know, you give and you take, not just take.
Inam, you here?
Andre, yes, I do. I do have a gift for you, Mazino, by the way, but I wanted him to think that I do not. So it's absolutely okay because he didn't give me anything.
Oh, that's great.
Andre, my last question is, what advice would you give people that are in relationships now, early relationships that people are hoping will lead to marriage? What advice would you give them to build a sustainable relationship that is mutually beneficial, a partnership rather, that is service-based as opposed to transactional-based?
Well, not to be, somewhat, the best advice I can give couples right now is to see a counselor.
No.
And that's the truth, because the value system is already twisted and you cannot fix it because you don't know how to. And it's only a professional that can help you fix it. So for starters, they should see a counselor, and then they need to sit down and actually have a conversation. You see, when we say communication is key in anything you do, marriage, relationship, even in the work front, communication is very key. They need to sit down and discuss everything. You see, I realize that in relationships these days, they don't talk about anything that is important. Mm-hmm. So they need to sit down and discuss, from finances to kids to chores, to the kind of house they want to live in or buy, to cars. All these things need to be discussed. The type of school your kids will go to, what you want to instill in your kids, for the long term, those that are, planning to extend all the way to marriage. Mm-hmm. But yes, that is the conversation that needs to be had.
Right. Andre Ogbewele, thank you very much for joining us this morning here to talk about love on the Day of Love in February. Well, we hope that those out there who are expressing love today do find pleasure in their company, each one of them with their spouses. And for those who are still searching, well, hey, we hope you find love. But then again, there's one person you can always love unconditionally, and that's yourself. So if you're single, show yourself some love. That's what I say. Andre, thank you once again. And I'll be expecting what Inam has brought in as my gift, but I will bring you something tomorrow, Inam.
I'll be expecting you both to reach out to me also. You're both single. I need to do something about that. So
thank you, Andre.
Need to reach out to me.
Thank you, Andre. It's okay. All right, then, Andre. Thank you once again.
I had to make that
Thank you for having me, guys.